Well, it's 8:30, so it's time to get to our guests. And he was kind enough to join the show. We appreciate him doing so. You guys know who it is, man. Former Detroit Lions linebacker, fullback, humanitarian. Now he's a broadcaster. He's getting into that now, which is going to absolutely crush. And fired up to have him, man, to get his thoughts on this whole thing. Please welcome to the show, Jason Cabinda. Jason, what's going on, my man?
What up, baby? How we doing?
Good. Number one, appreciate you for joining. You're the man, dude. You told us to reach out. We reached out. We got it scheduled. So appreciate that. But I want to ask you, now that we have you, and now we get to talk to you, you had one of the most viral moments of all time on Hard Knocks. You've been asked probably 1,000 times about it. But now that I have you, Jason, and you knew this was coming, my man. You knew it was coming.
Yeah, I did. I knew it.
You did. When you had that moment when you actually got to see Dan, now we know what Dan is today, but when he had his first press conference here and, it was the kneecaps and people, initially nationally were trying to diss the man for having so much passion. But when you see the Hard Knocks moment, you're there listening to Dan speak, and you kind of go through that moment itself and maybe your first impressions of Dan.
Yeah, I think that video really encapsulates a lot about who Dan Campbell is as a man. And I think, football is a heavy game emotionally. And, Dan was giving us a speech at that time, and he was talking about the type of team that we were going to be, the type of mindset we were going to have, how we were going to be the team that, dragged the tougher teams into the deeper ends of the ocean and see who could tread water the longest, and how some teams were front runners and that they only do well in shallow water, and how we're going to be the toughest and the grittiest and smarter than other teams. And, man, it don't take me much to get going. But that day specifically, man, I was fired the F up. I can't lie to you, man. I was fired up. I was just ready to play the next day. I think that was middle of training camp. But those are the types of things, in football, at certain points, you really got to stay even keeled. But there's a lot of times where you can play on your emotions. You can build that energy within yourself. And, man, Dan has a really special ability, a really special talent to grab that out of you and really make you use it to the best of your advantage in games. He brings the best out of his players.
Jason, can I ask you this? I want to throw it out there. Favorite Dan Campbell story outside of that, because I've heard a lot of Lions players tell different Dan Campbell stories. It feels like every Lions player that's been around Dan Campbell has a different one and a personal story with Dan. What is your favorite moment and story with Dan Campbell outside of that Hard Knocks moment?
Oh, that's funny. I was actually with a couple of guys a few weekends ago. I'm and Rod and Jared and them, and we were talking about this one moment that Dan had that I actually completely forgotten about. I don't know how I did, but one time we were in the locker room, and we're having a team meeting. I don't remember exactly what Dan was talking about. Sometimes he does these little spiels before we really get into business, and he might have just been in one of those spiels, and his tooth just falls right out of his mouth.
Oh no!
And Dan literally just bends over, picks up the tooth, puts it back in his mouth, and just keeps on going absolutely nothing happened. And it was just one of the funniest things. They're just so Dan, because he doesn't care, man. He just goes and goes and goes, man. He's awesome. That's something else.
Hey, there's no denying, Jason, that Dan, he's beloved by the city, not only for moments like that, but just you can see the authenticity that he has and how he's so intense on wanting to make this football team so great. And between him and Brad, the culture has turned around. And as a Lions fan, I kind of got the hint that it was going to be going in the right direction when they selected Pane Su, because yes, it's not the sexy pick, but when you're taking a player like Pane Su, you're taking a Hall of Fame type of player that's going to be protecting your quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years. From your experience, especially playing fullback, you got to go hand in hand, Pane, especially when you guys are out in the open field, leading for the running back. What is it like playing with Pane, and what do you think makes him so good that he was so good so early?
Man, Pane is he's a really special athlete. Let me put that out there first. This dude is 6'6", 330 or whatever he is, and is just so nimble, has such quick feet. The athleticism is just off the charts at his size. And when you have that type of athlete playing that position with that type of size, that's just special, period, in the story. You can't just go down the street and find that. Right. So let me start there. He's, in terms of athletic ability at his size, generational. And then when you look at the attitude and the mindset that he brings to every play, this is a dude that wants to finish guys in the dirt every single play, really expects the most out of himself and wants to be the best on the field, play in and play out. and that's what you want from your best players. But he's a really nasty offensive lineman. When you have somebody with that type of athletic ability, that type of strength, that type of skill, and have a killer mindset like he has, it's the type of stuff that makes you, when you're on the field with him at practice, like, God damn, I am so happy this dude's on our team. Like, there's really no other way to put it. Special player. He's a leader. That's one thing I saw out of Pane and saw him grow through the years, is him beginning to really speak up and really take control of that O-line and being the guy, So I'm really proud of Pane, man. He's a great player and a great human being.
Jason, you have a unique perspective because you were part of two regimes here. I mean, you saw the bad and then you saw the good, and we don't have to dive into the whole Matty P days, but I do want to ask you though. You got to experience both regimes. In comes Dan, which we've asked you about, but in comes Brad Holmes and how he identifies talent. He's one of the best in the NFL at doing it. When did you kind of start to notice? Obviously with Dan, you're like, this is different. Like this guy's gonna be a great coach. But when did it click for you? Like, wait, this guy can find dudes consistently. When did you start realizing like we got a GM, boys?
Oh, I mean, you just look at the drafts, and I think one of the biggest things I commend to Brad Holmes and Dan, really both of them, is that they would never sacrifice the culture of the locker room, the attitude of the team, and who we were gonna be for any level of talent. Absolutely every single guy that came in the building, whether it was through the draft, whether it was through free agency, whether it was midseason trade, whatever it was, they were a fit for the locker room first. So they never sacrificed that vision, because sometimes coaches talk like this and they make certain moves that kind of contradict the philosophy and contradict who we're trying to be. And Brad and Dan never did that, which makes them not only do you trust them and they're believable, it makes you want to play that much harder for them. And then when you look at the draft, you look at Pane, you look at Aiden Hutchinson, you look at Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Aleem McNeil. I mean, I could go down the list. Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like on and on and on. Like, how about finding top talent, regardless of the space, regardless of, what round or whatever that they were picked in? Man, quality, solid players and great needs that really filled up and stepped up and are now leaders of this team while they're still young. And I think that's a really impressive thing that they've shown year in and year out. And, some people criticize their draft this year a little bit, but I think another thing I commend to Brad is the fact that he's always addressing needs of the team currently in this day and age. He doesn't have some cookie cutter, this is what I do, this and the third. Yes, he builds in the trenches. He likes quarterbacks that are mostly pocket guys that maybe can run a little bit, but can make all the throws. That's kind of been his deal. Good, fast defenses. But regardless of where they were, and especially in this draft, they filled what they needed. They got a couple of special teams guys that are going to be really good special teams guys. We went and got a really great guard in Tate Ratledge. I absolutely love that pick. I love the Giovanni pick. I think he fits that culture. He fits who they're trying to be from a mindset. Like, if you go watch that kid's tape from Boise State, like, this kid plays a game with his hair on fire. He just started playing. They know they're going to be able to bring that edge and get that fire at him because it's all still new. So I actually really liked their draft this year. And I felt like if you really analyze their team and where they're at position by position, each pick really makes sense. And that's what I love about Brad.
Now, I want to throw out there this, Jason. I've been this is the most excited I've been to ask any guest this question. You worked with Jared Goff for years, and side by side, you were behind him a lot. I have fought for Jared Goff for a couple of years now to gain respect around the NFL. And last year, as an MVP finalist, felt like he finally gained a little bit of respect around the league as a whole. Can you talk about what Jared Goff does, not only just like in the building, on the field, with teammates, players, all of that, and then even kind of going a step further, obviously with Ben Johnson leaving and John Morton coming in, how Lions fans can feel a little bit comfortable still having kind of Jared Goff in that position, leading this team. I mean, back-to-back years or even 3 straight years having a top 5 offense behind Jared Goff. Can you talk about who he is as a player, a person, and what he can do continuing without Ben Johnson?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really love JG's story. I love the adversity he's overcome. I mean, it's really, really awesome. I mean, you guys know it. It was kind of spelled out before our Rams game back in 24. former number 1 overall pick with the Rams, takes him to the Super Bowl, doesn't work out, he gets shipped off to Detroit, where everybody thinks is like the place where you die. He struggles his first year, but like Jared is such a guy that week in, week out, year after year has been completely even keeled about his entire process. And that's what I love about him. Didn't matter if he was playing well, not playing well, whatever the case is, he was always a leader and he always went about his business. And I think that first year was tough, kind of getting acclimated to Detroit and playing here and then new system, this, that, and the third. But man, this is a guy that has gotten better and better year in and year out. He was now entering year 9, year 10 now, and he's in, you can very quite arguably say, his prime. There aren't a lot of guys in the NFL who play year 9, year 10 are playing in their prime. And at the quarterback position, that is a level of play that you can kind of keep extended for longer than other positions. And that's what I love about it. You look at 37 touchdowns, a career high from last year, 72% completion percentage, career high for him. He had 12 picks. 5 of them came in one game. I mean, he had like one bad game last year.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, why are we not talking about this guy as an MVP candidate going into next year? I mean, 15-2 in the regular season, NFC North with authority. Are you kidding me? The Detroit Lions, like the story is a whole lot bigger than people are making it right now. So I love JG. He's such a good leader. And like I said, he's always even keeled. And that's another thing about him that I saw grow a lot is the vocal aspect of it, the taking control aspect, and learning to kind of have your hand on the temperature of the team in different moments, when it's time to get guys fired up, when it's time to calm everybody down. He has a really good feel for those kinds of things, and you need that type of stuff out of your leader, especially a leader of the offense, the quarterback, man. I love JG's game, and I think he's going to have another really big year next year. You talked about Johnny Moe, and I don't think they're going to change a whole lot, man. When it ain't broke, you ain't got to fix it. So I think Johnny Moe is going to come in there, make a few adjustments, but really keep JG comfortable. And the great thing about Johnny Moe is he's already been in the building. He knows the operation. He knows how Ben did things. He knows that he's not going to want to tinker too far off to kind of mess up the heartbeat of the offense, which obviously was the star of the team last year. So I think the Lions fans can feel really good. Obviously, Ben is super creative. He's freaking ballsy. I love him. There's going to be some elements, some things that maybe we take a step back from, but overall, I think this offense has a ton of talent and has everything that it needs to go out there and win the NFC North again.
And Jason, we've been picking your brain about Lions players. We just spoke about JG. We asked you about Pane. You spoke about Johnny Moe, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes. But I want to ask you, when playing inside the NFC North, was there a player within the NFC North, not on the Lions, when you had to go up against him, you're like, gonna be a long day. Might have to buckle up the chin strap a little extra. Like, we got Chicago this week. We got Green Bay this week. We got Minnesota this week. Who was a player that obviously loved playing football? You're a fullback. You have to love the game to play the fullback position. But who was a guy that just made your life hell on a Sunday?
Man, that's a great question. I think those years that I was there, that Khalil was there in Chicago, man, Khalil Mack was a absolute problem. I remember one Chicago game, we had 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, personnel set. It was like an 11 Cabinda, just for that week where I would be the Y, where we were trying to force a defense into base personnel. And, based on the formation we had 4 plays we could get into. JG was kind of tech with me at the line of scrimmage. And he picked one of those 4 plays dependent on the look of the defense, on the field. And the one that we ended up going with was a zone run where I'm in line at tight end right in front of Khalil Mack. And I just had this moment before the snap. Like you guys know, I came in the league as a linebacker and then I'm moving to fullback, plays a little bit of tight end, a little bit of running back, a little bit of kind of everything. So
utility.
Some positions, that maybe I wasn't used to it. I didn't necessarily want my forte. And I had literally just a zone drive block on Khalil Mack. And like I held my own, but like it was like, my goodness, how did I get here to this stage in my career? I was about to one-on-one straight just zone block from the inline tight end Khalil Mack on the line of scrimmage. So Khalil was a problem, man. Super, super powerful, super explosive, physical, and fast, man. He really had it all, man. Just a dude with a ton of juice.
Yeah, and Jason, I want to ask you just big picture, because it seems like, and you've been on shows nationally, so you've gotten to experience this, I'm sure, but the narrative now, and it happens every offseason. Maybe it is Detroit kind of suffers this sometimes, but it's the regression. It's the, I've seen, how many 10 and 7s I've seen, Jason? I mean, 9 and 8. It's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful. And I want to kind of get your side of things on, because I get, it happens in the NFL where teams can have great years, regress, new coordinators. People bring that up, why it's concerning. But in your mind, what makes this team different? Why do you not see that type of regression, even in a tough division that maybe some of these national programs see?
Well, I'll say two things. Number one is that I think for the most part, we didn't really lose any pieces from last year's team that I feel like were absolutely crucial to the success of the team. So that's number one. We're really young. We got a ton of guys still on rookie contracts. No Curb just got paid. Tanae and Amon-Ra got paid, which they should have. But for the most part, we really have kept our pieces from last year. I think that's super important. I think we upgraded a little bit in the draft at a couple of positions, and we're preparing for some things. But for the most part, I think you look at the 11 on the offensive side of the ball, the 11 on the defensive side of the ball from a starting standpoint, and feel really, really good. So that's number one. And then number two for me is really not about Detroit, really about the rest of the NFC North. You look at the Bears. Yeah, we're excited about Ben Johnson, but it's Ben Johnson in year one. Caleb Williams coming off a rookie year where he looked absolutely awful, terrible body language, getting off the ground slow, an O-line that wasn't helping him out a ton. They're going to have their growing pains. It's not just all going to click just like that. Then you look at the Minnesota Vikings, and it's like, okay, everything looks great on paper, but it kind of seems like it's all going to come down to J.J. McCarthy and how he plays at quarterback.
Yeah.
They look like they're all in, putting all the money in, and man, if this works out, it's going to work out, but you still don't know. You got a rookie year. We didn't get a ton of reps. He was hurt. He ended up having a regression in his, recovery. We don't know how many reps he's really gotten. Is this going to be a rookie year number 2 for him, or is this going to truly be a second year? I'm making the sophomore jump, even though we didn't see a ton of reps in the rookie year. So there are just question marks there. And you look at the Packers, you like them, but you don't love them. And we saw that at the end of the year last year, how they kind of broke down. I just think the Lions still have their number. So I think, yes, it has a bit to do with us, but I also believe it has a lot to do with the rest of the division, why we're going to have success this year.
Hey, Jason, I just want to ask a final question. It kind of popped in my head because you were in different rooms in Detroit, and new DC Kelvin Shepard was in the building while you were there. Can you talk about Kelvin a little bit? Because I feel like that's I know everyone talks about the Ben Johnson, Johnny Moe, and that because the offense was top 5. But this defense getting everyone back with Hutch and that defense now being healthy and adding pieces. And you had Kelvin Shepard as the DC now. And we all loved AG. I think, and I actually 2 or 3 years ago, we did a show with Lukas, who's on our show, and he actually was pushing out there saying the next DC of the Detroit Lions will be Kelvin Shepard 3 years ago. And it happened. Can you talk about Kelvin Shepard and his kind of growth in that building and now being the DC and how he'll do this next season?
Yeah, man. How about Shep? I mean, the growth of Shep over the years that I've seen, them just continuing to give him more and more roles and more to chew on. And the way he's handled it, he's really been groomed for the position, man. And the way he's taken advantage of his opportunities, the way he had the linebackers playing over these past couple of years, despite injury. I mean, Malcolm Rodriguez, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes in development, all of those aspects. He's done a really, really good job. And I think, one, he's a player, and he was a dog as a player, and he's a dog just as a man, period, end of story. So you're going to bring that dog out of you. He brings the juice every single day. We saw a little bit of that in the Hard Knocks when you saw kind of the way he interacted with the linebackers and the way he motivated these guys, using Malcolm Rodriguez as the vets. He wasn't afraid to tell the vets, look, if this rookie outplays you, I'm playing him. I don't care. And that's what you need. That's how you get the best out of everybody in the room. And I think that's one of his best traits, man. He gets the best out of everyone. And I'm really, really excited to see Kelvin Shepard kind of take that next step and really take advantage of this opportunity to see how this Lions defense plays this year.
And Jason, we've been talking a lot about the NFL, but I want to switch it up because as a Lions fan, it was fun to watch this year. And you probably don't know this, but I'm a resident Ohio State Buckeyes fan. So college football season this year was just amazing. It was, I'll tell you, losing to Michigan was tough, but winning that natty, winning the first team of 4 playoff,
come on.
And now the expanded bracket, Ohio State, they just keep doing it. But this offseason, I'm hearing about Penn State and how they're the team to beat this year in college football. What do you expect out of your Penn State Nittany Lions, Jason?
Yeah, man, we can bet 100 push-ups right now that Penn State wins the NAT next year.
I'll take you up on that.
We can do that right now.
Do a smooth 60 right now. By the end of the season, I might be able to work up to 100. We can lay the wager though.
Yeah, I feel really, really good about this Penn State team. You know, you're speaking of Ohio State. They go this offseason and go hire arguably the best defensive coordinator in college football in Jim Knowles from Ohio State.
Yep.
From Ohio State. You know, you got Drew Aller coming back. He's going to be a first-round guy, big arm. He's only grown and grown this season. I mean, year after year. And I really don't think they're going to ask him to do a lot next year. You still got Katron Allen. You got Nick Singleton. You might have the best offensive line you've ever had under Coach Franklin, period, end of story. All 5 returners starting this season. They've got an all-star cast in the backfield between Drew, Katron, and Nick. Obviously, the big question mark is wide receiver. That was a question mark last year. 0 receptions in the Orange Bowl. But you look at Kyron Hudson from USC, who's coming in, 50-50 guy, possession receiver, runs good routes. You look at this guy we brought in from Troy, the little receiver, the slot. He's got some juice to him too. He's a yak guy, as well as a couple of freshmen I think are going to make moves this year. So I think we're going to be good there. I think we're solid at tight end. Like, the defense is going to be the defense. I talked about Jim Knowles, but you got Denai Dennis Sutton, Zakee Wheatley, you got AJ King on the outsides. Like, we got some guys. So I'm feeling really, really good about this team, and I just feel like it's their moment. I really do, and I think Drew's going to lead them all the way.
Yeah, you better get in there that weight room, Klotz. I'm telling you.
I trust a pound of rock.
Caleb Downs. I trust in them. They'll carry us to the promised land again.
I know all of you guys heard of Bryce Underwood here in Michigan. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Let's relax. Your coach isn't going to be on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey,
he didn't look that hot in the Amazing Blue game. I'll say that. He had one little trick play just so they could feel good about him. So he can show off a little stuff.
He'll get there. Hey, Michigan. Hey, they're gonna get right. They'll be ready.
Hey, Jason came with the smoke, man. I love it, Jason. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate the hell out of
you guys.
For you. Thank you for everything you've done for the city of Detroit, and good luck on everything in your personal life, my man. You're gonna crush.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Hey, if you guys ever want to catch a little bit of golf and NFL players, man, I got the Fairway Huddle Show on YouTube, man. I'm on episode 6 now. We got a ton of NFL guys coming in, getting into real personal, real-life conversations, locker room talk, the inside scoop that, not a lot of you guys get to hear. So tune into Fairway Huddle, man. I also got a documentary on Penn State's 2016 Big Ten championship team coming out for football season. The turnaround that focuses on Penn State's turnaround from the sanctions that happened back in 2012 and where the state of the program was at, how we overcame with the Saquon Barkley's, Marcus Allen's, Jason Cabinda's of the world. It's going to be awesome, man.
Hey, Jason, I wanted, before you go, you golf, man. You're big into golf.
I am.
I'm over here. I'm trying to break 100. All right?
He's working on it.
I've missed 2 putts over the last 3 weeks to break 100. Bad ones. What are you shooting right now?
I'm like 87 to 92 kind of guy right now, plus 14.
So damn. So he's
better than all of us.
Yeah, he's better than all of us. All right, you know what, man?
I'm solid. I'm catching up quick. I ain't gonna lie. I've been golfing my butt off. Like, I'm a member. We got to
get out on the links at some point when you're back in Michigan here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We'll hit Shepherd's Hollow. Yeah, we'll hit Shepherd's Hollow.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, you take care, Jason. We appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, Jason.
Jason Cabinda joining the program, talking to the fellas, man, taking time out
of
his busy schedule. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.